PhLo here again. I'm quite a bit higher up on that butte from earlier and found this pretty nice opening here with signal, so I figured I'd do a short live stream while I have the chance. I don't know how much of this thing I'm going to explore today because I'm not finding like super easy paths. I'm kind of up now where I'm finally in an open spot, but I had to go through quite a bit of bushwhacking to get here. I saw what probably was bear poop, bear scat, whatever. I don't know what else it could be. I'm not like much of a wildlife guy because I don't see it much around here. But I don't know what else. I don't think it would be deer or cougar or elk or anything like that. So probably a bear here somewhere, which would be a first. Like I've seen signs of cougar activity and then deer and elk. I never see them. They're always like hiding too well or not around where I'm at. But I've never actually seen any signs of bear activity. So that's interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna probably continue over this direction because there's an opening that continues. If I had to get down, it's a pretty nice clearing, even though it's ridiculously steep, like probably almost dangerously steep. I could get through right here, back down easier than I got up. The way up was a fair amount of bushwhacking to get over here, thick stuff. I looked for the leanest openings that I could, but I still had to push through some pretty heavy stuff. So the way I took was definitely not a way that I would necessarily repeat, but I didn't really feel like exploring all the way around the mountain before heading up, because I'm sure I could have found a much clearer way, but that would have added a lot of distance and kind of tedious stuff, just trying to find an opening. But I'm in an opening now. I don't know if it's going to keep continuing or not. My original thought for being up here was to try to follow the crater rim at the top all the way around, but if it's going to be super bush covered like it is here, I don't know if I'll bother to do that. Ironically, probably the ideal time to do something like that would be in the winter, because the snow would be thick enough, heavy enough to push down all these bushes up here, and you could just kind of walk over the top of them on the snow with snowshoes. But it's not the same experience though. Like, as fun as it is to do occasional snowshoe hikes, it's kind of a catch-22, because if there's that much snow up here to push the bushes down, then the roads probably are impassable. So I don't know, it's kind of one of those don't really know till you try it kind of scenarios. But I have done some of that kind of hiking, and it's always mysterious and or a coin toss whether you can even get to the location due to the snow on the roads and stuff. This year, like early in the spring, I tried to get places before they were kind of accessible, and I just got stuck in the snow on the roads several times. A couple times almost hopelessly stuck, where I felt like I couldn't get out at all. But there's always like enough determination and possibly prayer can get out of just about anything. But I try to avoid getting stuck if I can. I'm gonna mark this big rock down here. I don't really know if these are actually rocks. They're kind of like hardened mud or something. They look like they would just crumble away if you kicked at them. Might be sandstone, or I don't know, just to me it just looks like dirt clods, like really hardened dirt. But it's cool anyway. But yeah, this stuff is so steep that it's a nice clearing here, but it would be fairly challenging to get down without like sliding. Do have my trusty hiking poles though. Yeah, this is awesome. It's a very nice view here too. So mark this rock and then mark it as a view as well. And get some pictures. I already took a few pictures here, but every time I move around it's a slightly different angle. Trying a new setting on my Sony camera today with a little bit higher dynamic range, because I don't know, I'm never really happy with photos. Like, I honestly, if I wanted to get the best photos possible, I'd shoot in RAW and develop every single one, but that takes so long. I've kind of told myself that I'll resist that kind of temptation to get back into the full photo editing mode, because I just don't really enjoy it, and it takes too long. I never actually do it is the problem. So then I have all these raw files that I can't really show anybody or look at, and if I do look at them, they look terrible because they're not developed yet. So at least with the HDR JPEG setting, I have a halfway decent chance of getting a presentable photo without all the editing. But I don't really do anything with my photos. It makes me question my sanity with why I even take photos sometimes. But to me it feels completely nuts to be in a place like this and not take a single photo when you're here. That just seems so weird. I guess if you had a photographic memory and you could sort of flip through the images in your mind, you could relive the experience, but you wouldn't be able to share it with anybody. Like, say your mom or your friend wants to see the hike that you went on, there's just no record of it. Anyway. But I do kind of envy people that just don't care about that stuff, because they just kind of live in the moment. They have no memories to look back on, but less worried about carrying technology around with them and slowing down their experience. But I don't know. I envy them and I pity them at the same time, because I just can't imagine not having any visual. I'm almost gonna fall here. It's so steep. I have to take each step with great care. Just noticed that, so let me dig my feet in a bit while I get around this little slippery obstacle. Okay, I think I'm good. Yeah, this stuff is deceptively dangerous, or just kind of precarious. I don't know. Like, it's not life-threatening, but the stuff that you see is like dirt on top of a kind of a hardened surface, so it kind of slides very easily. have to be careful not to go down with it. Now this is an awesome view here. I'm going to go down to this little rocky thing to mark it and then get another photo. This clearing is big and it goes for a long ways, but then it's just socked in or cased in by bushes everywhere. So I'm not sure if I'll... Looks like maybe right around here somewhere there's a slight break in the bushes I can take advantage of to get higher up, but this is not an easy place to navigate. Oh, it's awesome though. What a view. It would be worth hiking up to this completely random spot, even if you're not going to go to the summit, just to take in the view. It's really great. It's exceptional. I would bring my friend up here. Like, I don't know if he'd enjoy the bushwhacking. We'd have to go up that really steep area back there probably to avoid the bushes. He's not quite as much into the bushwhacking as I am. But yeah, this is amazing. Okay, let me mark this stuff. Get some photos. Some of these I can, if I'm disciplined, I can delete those earlier ones in favor of keeping this wider open shot. If I stitch all these panoramas though, it only ends up being like, a few photos. But in the meantime, I have this huge stack of stitching components to deal with. By deal with, I mean just throw it in a folder on my computer and forget that they exist. All right. Okay, we'll see. Man, I really wish I brought that water bottle pouch. We'll see if we can get any higher. Oh yeah, sweet. Check that out. That's kind of where I was pointing, but I hadn't gone quite far enough to see if it would pan out. There's a perfect clearing straight through the bushes. That'll get me up pretty much probably to the crater rim. And then from there, hopefully I can see if there's a way to get around it or somewhere else of interest. I would be happy with just doing this today though, like primarily because I got a really late start and I knew I probably wouldn't have time to go all the way around. So if I get blocked up here somewhere in the bushes or I just don't really see any clear way to go, I would be happy just making this my destination. To be honest, like one thing I'd love to pass on to people that like to hike and stuff or get outdoors is just basically, I don't know how to put it in succinct words, but the satisfaction with mediocrity or just something that's not your, like an ever increasing adrenaline rush of greatness. Basically, like while there's awesome things like this that I'm looking at right now, which kind of contradict what I'm saying, you could also just like find a road, a random forest road that there might be some in the middle of these trees and just walk along that road. Not nearly as spectacular, obviously, but you're getting outside, you're going to a place that you haven't been and maybe wouldn't think to go, but you're experiencing something, you're getting exercise, all that stuff. So like I think it was almost 10 years ago, like 9 years ago, 2016. The story, and I was actually just recently revisiting this story with my best friend who visited over Memorial Day weekend. basically, I wanted to start hiking more often, but I didn't have anybody to go with. My friend that I was just talking about was very busy at the time in his life, and I had like one other friend that liked to go hiking. Obviously the area is full of hikers, but how do you find them, especially if you're kind of shy introvert like myself? Don't really connect with random strangers. So I just decided, you know what, this is annoying. If I only hike when I go with somebody, I'm never going to hike, or it's going to be like twice a year. So back in 2016, I just told myself, you know what, I'm just going to forget about going with people. If I want to go hike, I just go out right that moment. If I have a free afternoon or something, or at the time I was working at a place that I got off at like 3 p.m., I think. And, you know, during the summer, it stays light till like 9 p.m. or later sometimes. And so I just said, you know what, forget all that. I'm just going to go hiking after work every day, or as many days as I can. And so that's kind of when I started this whole life adventure of like hiking constantly as much as I can. And that's where I discovered the great joy of it. But to go back to what I was saying earlier, I don't always have to outdo the last experience. Like, you can just have kind of make a list of places you want to go, either on all trails or just get a map app and just start marking things unjudiciously, just like every place that you think might be interesting. Or in my case, what I do is I like look at every single one of these high points in the distance, and I can see all those on a map. I just put a little marker on the map. Let's go visit those someday. And some of them are actually not very interesting. Like, you get to the top and it's covered with trees. You can't see anything. Might be covered with bushes. Some of those are so bad that I don't even enjoy it. But most of them are not that bad. And I don't ever regret getting outside, even if I don't have a super grand experience like I'm having right here. And I've even learned to appreciate walks in the neighborhood. Like, you just enjoy people's yards and cool houses and stuff. And city parks as well. Just like back when I was living in the big city, I would have to drive, 45 minutes to get somewhere to be out in nature. Some people have to drive even farther. So there's city parks and stuff like that. So I just hiked all the city parks, explored every path. Man, it was fun. So yeah, that's kind of something I'd like to pass on to others, is just enjoy any experience you get to have outside. If you're the thrill seeker kind that always has to outdo yourself, pretty soon you're gonna do one epic hike, like go to the top of a snowy mountain. It's like 10,000 feet or more, and you're gonna be like, okay, how do I outdo this now? And at that point, there's pretty much nothing you can do. Like some amazing waterfall, some mountain peak. There's nowhere to go from there, unless you think Mount Everest is on your bucket list. And then once you do that, what else are you going to do? So for me, I kind of destroyed that tendency in my mind to always want to outdo myself. And instead, if anything, I did the reverse. Like, okay, let's go find a place that's just average or new. And it became more about going somewhere that I've never been before, as opposed to constantly outdoing myself all the time. And something that it makes it so I never feel disappointed getting outside. So all that to say, like today, I might not even go to the summit of this mountain I'm on. This might be my destination right here. And because of that stuff that I just mentioned, I've learned to accept those kind of situations and not be disappointed. So, but I am actually going to keep going. But I did want to share that little story, because that's been I think I've shared it before, just not maybe as long-winded as that. But, whoa, oh, this stuff is very slippery. I'm glad I have my hiking pole out. It's kind of a challenge to hold that while I'm holding my gimbal and junk, but it really does make it better for scenarios like this. I think I already kind of marked this as a view. I think it's good enough. It just keeps getting better. It's actually pretty amazing. As you can see, so many mountains. Yeah, this is one of the best views I've had in a while. And actually last weekend, I went out with my friend over Memorial Day weekend and we saw a lot of stuff, but I think I like this even better than all that stuff. Whew. I wasn't really expecting anything this grand today. So yeah, I need to put that on my absolute must-have inventory for hikes, that water bottle pouch strap. Yeah, it just keeps getting better. I don't know, not necessarily better, just awesome angles. I actually dropped my phone as I was setting up the stream. It's so annoying. Thankfully it was on this dirt stuff. It wasn't like lava rocks. It's got dust all over it though. Alright, I think just a few more steps here and I'll be on the actual crater rim. I don't think it's one of those like super dynamic, impressive, obvious volcano shapes just by looking at it like with my eyes here, but when I look at it on the map, especially in LiDAR or contour maps, you can really see the ring shape. Wow. This is awesome. Oh, this place right here. Oh man, this is my new favorite hangout spot. What? So I got this tree, this giant tree over here for shade. It just cooled down like 5 or 10 degrees just perceptually, whatever that word is, my perception of it. Sit here under the tree. This is the best spot ever. Need to somehow mark this or take note of it later. Wow, yeah, this is perfection. I dare say it doesn't get much better than this, and the signal's also pretty good too. Kind of want to record a short here. These birds are very nice too. One of the cool things about coming out at this time of year is the lakes and stuff are all full from the snow runoff melting. Later in the summer, like that giant lake out there pretty much just becomes a trickle of like a river kind of a thing. It's just a completely different scene. I could keep the stream going as I push on through, but I don't know if it'll be as strong. And I sort of want to record a short here. Let me get a little bit further over here to see what I'm going to be looking at for my route. As of right here, there's a halfway decent clearing through the bushes that I can identify. It's I have to push through some of these right here, but over there you can see clears up a little bit. So that's probably the way I'll go. I guess I don't know if I'm going to come back this way. That's the problem. If I knew I was going to head back the same way, I could just come back here and record something, but it's so annoying. That's one of the main reasons I'd like to get the 360 cameras. I could keep the stream going, then just pop out the second camera and shoot secondary videos without disturbing the stream. I don't really have a good way to do that right now. I guess I could use my other phone, but my microphone is hooked up to the stream and it's just kind of a pain to set everything down. Maybe I'll try, and I can always delete it if it sucks. The audio won't be very good because I have to use my phone's built-in audio. I guess I could pull in the audio from the stream since it's recording. Not that that would be super high quality, but anyway, let's see. I'll try. Do an experiment. Oh, this area is amazing. It's not super easy to get to though, so it's not like I could just come out here casually and hang out. I'd have to, it's a decent hike just. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna record a quick short while I'm here and then I'll keep going after that. Terrible at these shorts. I just like to have them because nobody watches live streams, so it's part of the reason, but this second phone that I have way over saturates everything. Hey, Flo here. I'm at the top of a volcano crater rim, looking out at one of the best views I've seen. This is probably my new favorite hangout spot, except it's not exactly easy to get here. Check out this amazing view though. You can see so many mountains in every direction. Got a giant lake out there too. There's this huge open area up here under this tree that is like pristine. It's perfection for just hanging out in the shade, taking in the views. So if I remember, I might come up here more often. It's a little work to get up here, but it's worth it. Catch you guys later. All right. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Okay, let's see where we can get. So I think my chat is working. I just don't think people watch my live streams, but if it's not, I apologize. I never know. It's always weird when it's amazing to me how few people watch IRL. So I don't actually know if it's working or not, but as far as I know, it is. So I'm gonna head up this. Oh, I can't remember if I got a nice panorama here. This spot is pretty epic. I probably did, but I can always delete the duplicates later. Just don't want to miss out. All right. It's annoying to me that I can't live stream to YouTube without like spending an hour setting it up. I need to research because I think there might be ways to do it, but generally speaking, you have to like create the live stream before you can send RTMP to it. You can't just like start streaming on the fly like you can on Twitch and DLive and Kick, other platforms. You don't have to do anything on those platforms at all. Zero setup. You push go live, that's it. But YouTube, you have to like create a live stream event, and like, oh, it's so stupid. It takes so long and it's so hard to do on the phone. Yeah, I hate it. But I'd like to be live streaming to YouTube just to kind of complement my other content, because I have to like download the videos from some other platform after the fact and re-upload them to YouTube. The quality drops when you do that, and not that they're like amazing anyway, but it's just a pain. And then it doesn't show up in your live stream panel. It's in your regular video, and that's just a weird concept. Like, watch a live stream that already happened, so it's not live anymore. I don't think very many people do that. Oh well. So here's that opening I was seeing earlier. I don't know how far it's going to continue, and the crater, which isn't like the most dynamic one ever, but it's kind of back in those trees. Just goes down, and then over there, probably, I don't know, half-mile over there is the other side of the crater. It might even be farther than that. This is a pretty large volcano compared to some of the others I've done recently. Like I wouldn't be surprised if walking around the perimeter is, a couple miles, maybe more, just because it's so big. But we'll keep this going as long as I stay up here where it's a halfway decent signal. And again, I'm not sure if I'll succeed in circumnavigating this whole thing. It looks like like you can see, this is kind of the rim here. It's completely covered by bushes, but there might be slight offset paths to get around. The problem is, oftentimes when there's a clearing near the rim, it's quite often outside, like lower down around the edge of the rim, and then it's like you're walking on a 45-degree slant. It's just not very comfortable, and sometimes not super safe either. Still less open view than the others, but I like that foreground tree element there. It's cool looking. Okay. Almost switched today to just using my phone instead of bringing my Sony mirrorless. Well, and then honestly, recording videos or live streams is kind of one of the best ways to relive a hiking experience, because you get your voice talking and you get your feelings, reactions, and all that stuff. Plus, it's 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second, and so it's like taking a million photos instead of just a single shot here and there. So this path is kind of dissolving, but I think if I were to go down into the trees, which is probably what I'll do, I could keep skirting around, and I could push through some of this. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of thick, and there's not anything extremely motivating, no motivating factors to keep me up here where there's solid shrubberies, underbrush. But there's one last look at the amazing open view, just in case I get in the trees and can't see it much anymore. And the signal might also die, so we'll just see what happens over here. Mosquito season has officially started. My friend and I got into some mosquitoes as soon as we got home, ironically. Like all Memorial Day weekend, a couple days we were out and about, even near water and everything. No mosquitoes. And then as soon as we got home to my place, actually, well, I guess it was as he was leaving, we were taking a photo outside and just got swarmed by giant mosquitoes. And they were here also at where I parked, like almost very shortly after I got out of the car. They were all around me, but I put some stuff on and it seems to be working. I'm sure I'll get a few bites, but shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, this is a fairly common scenario where the very top of the crater is packed with bushes, and right down, just stone's throw or less off of the top, you get these clearings, probably animal game trails. So it's a little disappointing in the fact that I like to traverse the actual ridge line, because it's fun to see that, like when you get back and look at your GPS recording, it like matches the shape of the contour. It's kind of just satisfying, but ultimately It's just about having a good time and experiencing the essence of a place a little bit. You can't always explore everything, but I do what I can. This is very obviously a game trail. It almost looks like a human trail. It's so nicely carved out of the side. Sometimes I wonder what the life of the animals is like. Like, why do they come up to these places? I'm guessing it's mostly looking for food, like berries and other kinds of plants that they like to eat. And then the predators probably follow them around, and it's just kind of an interesting cycle, but we don't really get to see that. So we just have to put together stories and wonder what actually happens out here. I don't know. But it's kind of funny to think that they have trails like this that they follow. And you wonder, like, okay, where are they going? And then sometimes I wonder, I don't know. I don't believe animals have souls, specifically like in a religious sense. But I think they can enjoy certain things. Well, otherwise, why would they like it when you pet their head? Like, it seems like every animal, even some of the predator ones, like, just you touch their forehead and they're just like transported to a happy place. So it's obvious that they enjoy things. But one thing that I often wonder is when they're up in a place like this and they come to an opening where they can see distant mountains and majestic scenes, like, do they appreciate it or not? I wonder sometimes. Like, do they sit like in a spot like that one I just discovered and just look out and see out in the distance and just, I don't know if they like have a sense of awe or if they're just like, oh, whatever, it's more pixels on my retina. I just don't know. But aside from the food stimulus, looking for areas that have food sources and probably safety, like a place to bed down and things like that, I don't know what they do all day. Like, what are they looking for? What are they trying to experience? Maybe nothing. Maybe it's just a bundle of nerves and instincts. I don't know. But whenever I see trails like this, it brings thoughts like that to mind because it shows some kind of organization in their mind. One of the animals at some point in the history establishes a trail, a path, and then others follow in their footsteps. I just find that interesting. I'm surprised the cell signal has survived in the midst of these very thick trees. I check my other phone. I'm curious. I want to see. Make sure I can see if chat is working or not. Oh, that's right. I changed the link, so I have to like open it again.
Flomix says, yeah, dead signal. Later. PhLo, test.
Alright, yep, I think we're good. Just the standard. Nobody watches live streams on, and nobody watches IRL, particularly my stuff, which is fine. I'm used to it by now. So it looks like there's more of a clearing up on the rim than there was back a ways, so I'm gonna see if I can get closer. There's still pretty heavy bushes on the actual peak of the rim. So I have to stay down here in the trees if I want to avoid that stuff. I kind of like it when the signal keeps going beyond just the viewpoints, because it's kind of fun to share what the hike is like a little bit. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised that it's holding out this long. Got a couple options. Can go up there. Doesn't look very good, and then down here it's quite clear. But the higher up I can stay, the better. But this isn't looking too great here. Yeah, there's quite a few bushes I'd have to contend with, so I think I'll go for that lower route. Actually, here's a nice cut through. Ultimately, I was sort of hoping to explore this whole butte because I've never done it before. I've done like half of it, but it's kind of one of those that you can't really fully appreciate because it's too wild. You can't just go wherever you want. You're kind of at the whim of the landscape itself. Some of the, or most, I would say most of the places that I go, a good 75 to 90%, I can kind of just go wherever I want because there's not so much bushes and stuff to prevent me from exploring. This one is kind of in that 10 to 25%. That you just gotta deal with whatever you encounter and alter your path according to obstacles. There's kind of a clearing up near the rim right there, but I'm not confident it'll stay that way. I'm kind of inclined to try it out because right in front of me there's bushes, so I'd have to go farther down where that fallen tree is. But if I can go all the way up there, that would be more interesting. I don't think it'll last very long, but there's kind of a way through here. There's actually two ways. There's like something of a clearing there, and then there's what looks like almost what might have been an ancient road going up this way. But more often than not, those roads get covered with bushes. I still see it continuing, so I'm gonna go this way for a while. Yeah, this is good. I don't think it's gonna last, but so I either have to go way down there again where that broken tree was. There's also something of a clearing here, but this is one of those that I just have the gut feeling it'll dead end suddenly. But you never know until you try. Sometimes the clear areas are only just because there's a tree shielding the forest floor from receiving adequate light and nutrients and stuff. So it's like just around the base of the tree it's clear, and then just a few yards out it's solid bushes again. That's probably what's happening here, but if there's like kind of a chain link of trees close enough together, they sort of create a natural path under them. Natural path. Those are the best kind of doctors. Oh, there's a butterfly. Probably a moth. Can't believe the signal's still going. It's crazy. I want a drink, but I don't want to have to pull my whole pack off to get it. It's super annoying. Pretty packed with trees over there. There's like a break right between these, but I don't think that would go anywhere of interest. But I'm gonna go over here just to look at it, but I know it's gonna end right here. Oh. Spoke too soon. It does kind of end, but there's continuation just beyond this big old branch. But it looks like it kind of goes nowhere, so I am gonna follow my nose. Whatever that means. I'm more or less following the crater though, which is kind of cool. Not veering off too much. I think rather than trying to go all the way around the circle though, I'm going to go kind of more end to end. Encryption style. Because I know at the other side of this thing is kind of a parking lot area. It's not like an actual parking lot, but it's this big open gravelly thing. And if I make it there, then I can walk out to this road and circle back. And that'll be kind of a nice route. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for. I should probably look at the map just to get an idea of where I'm at. This is blowing my mind that I have decent cell coverage here with very few breaks. I'm not looking at the screen constantly, but every time I glance at it, it's like my full bit rate that I set up for the stream, pretty much. Should be like around 4,500. This is weird, all these branches on the ground. It looks very unnatural. Like probably they did some forest maintenance up here, cut some stuff some years ago. Might not be too far from reaching the other side where that gravel parking lot would be down below. But this is big, so it's a big volcano, so maybe when I look at it I'll be surprised. Nowhere near the other end, I don't know. I'm gonna take a quick break here. Get my water out. I definitely need it. I hate doing it. Just have to take my whole pack off. If I could get a better tripod scenario for my selfie stick and gimbal, a lot of this stuff would be a lot less annoying. But it takes an exceptionally flat area with no wind for me to be able to safely put my phone down. So all the while I have to try not to drop my selfie stick, and it's just a big pain in the butt. Okay. I'm actually on the rim right now. I haven't looked at the map yet, but it's pretty obvious. And there's a break in the bushes in front of me. I'm looking behind me, like behind from where I came from, but over here looks pretty good right there. So I'm gonna follow that, and if that doesn't pan out, then I can definitely come out here in the shadows. That way there's definitely open area. And while I'm stopped for a second, I'm going to check the map, see how far I am. Oh wow. I am nowhere. I'm not even half. There's like I would say there's 5 legitimate craters on this one mountain. 2 of them are kind of like a figure 8, the larger ones. And there's like 3 little ones that are sort of attached. I'm not even half, I'm almost to where the figure 8 comes together in the middle. Not quite, so got a long way to go. So I should probably increase my pace, and if the stream doesn't hold out, I should just cut that and just keep going at a good clip. Otherwise, I'll have to abort this halfway through and head back down the mountain because I've got a long way to go. This thing is huge. Whoa, there's a big bird flying out. This is probably one of the biggest volcanoes around by circumference. Whoa, this is an actual road. Too bad it doesn't continue with that kind of clearing going up this way. It's like right in front of me, it's completely covered with bushes. That would be nice if I could follow something like that. We're gonna have to bushwhack. There's some pretty heavy mosquitoes in here. Thankfully, the stuff I'm wearing seems to be keeping them from noticing me too much, but I just swatted one on my hand a minute ago. So I probably need to pull that out pretty soon and reapply it, because I probably sort of sweated some of it off or wiped it off. That's the thing with all the stupid claims, the marketing claims that they make on those things. They say like 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. It's not true at all. It's only, maybe if you're just sitting around inside, maybe out on your deck, barely exerting yourself, but you start sweating in a little bit, that stuff comes off. Almost a clearing there, but I feel like that's one of those that's just gonna, so I'm gonna stay down here in the trees where I know it's good. Signal's finally dropping a little bit. That might be just a momentary thing. But if that trend continues, I'll probably end the stream when it gets down to 2 megabits or something. So at that point, it's just not even worth looking at. Starting to get kind of dusky a little bit. The sun's still out, but it's at quite an angle. I still have like 2 hours before the official sunset, but a lot earlier when you're up in the mountains. Wow, we got some major mosquitoes. Okay. Wow, that's insane. I just finally reached that convergence of the figure eight kind of thing. I have so far to go. I think I'm gonna head down further. It's not necessarily a super intuitive decision, but it just feels right. Let's see. Can't remember if there's a forest road down on this side. I know there's one on the opposite side of the butte, which is like miles away from where I'm at right now. But there could be one on this side too, and even if there's not, if I had to, I could get down to the forest level area and backtrack to where I parked if I really want to. At this point, I'm going to keep going though. It's going to be a long hike though. I probably will be out pretty much in the dark by the end of it, unless I really up my pace. Which I'll try to do to some degree. Oh. If I stay under these tree covers, or the cover of these trees, the bushwhacking should be negligible and I can go a lot faster. It's maybe not as visually interesting, but it's still fun to be out. This is the kind of stuff I was talking about earlier, where it's not as glamorous as that view, but it has its own appeal. Like you can see the light coming through the trees and the leaves. And you're going somewhere that nobody else goes. Experiencing real nature, adventure, all that. So I love this stuff. But now this is the kind of stuff I'm used to where I can pretty much go anywhere I want, and I have to look at my map more often because, I could just go off where there's a clearing and end up not really going the direction I want, so I have to check it more often to make sure I'm still on course. The crater rim is also not nearly as easy to follow right here because it's kind of a shallow, not so prominent ridge line. I'm pretty close to it though. Oh, looks like my signal is degrading. So I might end the stream pretty soon if it doesn't improve. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, my signal is kind of getting down to that threshold where I don't really like to continue because it just looks terrible. So I'll probably end the stream here. I'm glad I was able to share a good chunk of the adventure though. Probably won't do any more live streaming unless I see something really outstanding. But anyway, thanks for joining me, and I will see you all next time.